to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Accomplishment Coaching is proud to present the following fine programming. Accomplishment Coaching, where coaches lead and leaders coach. AccomplishmentCoaching.com.
Welcome back to the Wealth Building Hour.
Well, this is R.J. Kelly with Wealth Legacy Group here in San Diego. And if you've got questions, if you're enjoying this as much as I am, I want to hear from you. And you call us at 800-975-5355. That's 800-975-5355. Let us know. Give us some feedback. Give us your questions. Or maybe there's some topics that today that you go, gosh, that would be great if I also heard about this other thing. In which case, then you could send us an email to info@wealthlegacygroup.com. That's info at wealthlegacygroup.com. Or you can just send an email directly to me, rj@wealthlegacygroup.com. So I'm very, very honored to have Joe Strazzeri and Melissa Silverman. They are two absolute legs of the table. Well, the third leg of the, maybe I'll say stool. So the third important leg of the stool is Shelley Lightfoot. And Shelley is, again, tremendous background in the financial service industry, over 20 years. And so she is the partner that's in charge of that second step in the process. And so with the Founders Group, there's definitely a process. That's one of the things they help business owners identify is what their processes are, because that adds value. And nobody does that better than the folks at Strazzeri Mancini, at the Founders Group, at the Laureate, in terms of creating those processes. So, Shelley, thanks so much for being here. I know it was a major struggle out there with the traffic and traffic lights and people honking their horns and being really nasty to each other, but you made it. So thank you.
I did. Thank you very much.
So Shelley, tell us about this. And I know, again, you are the glue of so many different things that happens in the world over there. But this is really important to you, and this whole concept of succession planning and transition planning seems to really tie into some roots for you, and you're so good at organizing things and getting processes in place. So talk to us about that.
Thank you very much. So I know that you guys have talked about the first phase of the process, and that is really Melissa's expertise and getting that valuation done, that true valuation, and looking at the readiness and the attractiveness of the business. Now we need to take a look at the owner himself and the leadership team, as well as the owner's family, and decide where do they want to go? What is the vision for this business? Not only just tactically, but strategically. So, strategic planning is the long-term planning. Where do you see this business going in 5 to 10 years? And hopefully, if they're doing it right, they're thinking ahead of time if they're planning on an exit and they are looking 5 to 10 years out. But a lot of times they're coming to us sooner than that, as we all know. So we're faced with some tactical planning often as well. And that is looking in the next year, what are the things that we need to be doing? And through the valuation, we have identified some of the areas that they could improve or raise the value of the business. And now we're going to do some tactical planning with the business owner, the owner and his family, as well as the owner, or him or her, I guess I should say, and the leadership team. And is that leadership team a strength or a weakness? So we go through a process, RJ, of tactical planning, and we have a real, an actual brainstorming session, a full day session, or sometimes 2 or 3 days, depending on what else we need to do. But spending time with the owner himself and going through a series of questions. There's 9 key business questions that we take them through. And it's really an enhanced SWOT analysis. Your typical strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, but we put 5 key questions on the front of that to say, what do you do? What do you really do? What do you believe in? How do you define success? And then how do you measure that success? And so we take the owner through those types of questions.
I'm sure that's the first time they have ever processed through that, or at least there's some questions there they probably go, no one's ever asked me that before, Shelley.
Yeah, and we do a lot of homework up front, and so we know which things to pick at, as far as what those answers are. But it really helps to just get it all out on the board, big boards around the room. And then we remove the owners from the room and we bring the leadership team in, or the full team, depending on how large the team is. And they go through those questions as well. And then we bring them all back together and we see where they're in alignment or where they're not in alignment. Those really identify the true issues now that we need to focus on, along with the evaluation. Now we have the internal stuff.
Right, the human stuff. There's the dollars and cents and the widgets, but now this is the human stuff.
This is the human stuff. It brings out issues related to messaging and process and all of those internal strengths and weaknesses that we can now focus on. And by the end of that session, now we're identifying the enhancement initiatives that we're going to work on. And that's really the next phase of the process is, all right, now that we've gone through these 2 phases, what are the 3 to 5 enhancement initiatives that we can now work on in 90-day sprints with the owner and the team? And it's not letting the owner take over those enhancement initiatives.
As often happens.
Right.
Anyway.
It's the team. So the team is taking ownership of each of those different enhancement initiatives to make sure that now we have their buy-in.
Makes perfect sense.
They're very much involved now, and they're on board, and they're excited, and they're ready to move forward, and they've got their own mission, I guess you will, with the company.
Well, and that makes such great sense. And again, because you all have done this is not, as the old saying goes, this is not your first rodeo. There's confidence that just exudes from that. And so that business owner can relax. Joe, as you were talking about in the second segment, one of the issues for that business owner is that they are just flat out tired. And one of the things that I've got to think that this is so helpful is as you bring this wonderful team around, and as I get also to be involved peripherally with Wealth Legacy Group, just what a relief that must be for that business owner to feel like, I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room anymore, because I got people around me that are going to take us, and they've done this dozens and dozens of times. Joe, we've got about 4 minutes left, so that's great. You and I have a, why use one sentence when 2 sentences will do kind of approach to things. So give us what's a client, a situation that, as Shelley was talking about, that second phase. Can you think of a case that
Sure.
that really just...
Happy to. So let's go down this path for a moment. Normally, remember the contemplation of the transition of a business, either to being more about less about the owner, more about the team, growing it, or transitioning to the employees, or to sale, or to family members. This is a strong financial planning concern and opportunity. So the financial planner for that family should be the center of this conversation, because they balance the personal needs of the family compared to the business needs and the opportunities. Those financial planners are experts at bringing in experts. RJ, your firm is an expert at finding those families that have concerns and bringing in the other strategic experts, like, let's say, us, to this situation. Within that, then, it's a simple 4-part question, 4-step answer. What is their current state through evaluation and an assessment, which Melissa talked about? The second step, which is future vision, that Shelley was talking about, tactical and strategic planning with probably the owner and either the family or their key team members. The third step are enhancement initiatives that Shelley mentioned through 90-day sprints, maybe 4 or 5 sets of that for a year, maybe a little bit longer. And now you're to that decision at a different place to talk about it being worth a different amount, like you talked about. As far as the perfect client, it's that entrepreneur that started something from nothing, that has grown this uniquely, that is saying, where do I go from here? What are my options? Help me understand them so I can balance out my financial and personal needs against my team that helped me build the company that I care for, against my family's needs, and against what might happen in the industry, remembering those secrets that we talked about, which included I might be a little tired or might be considered in the future. So, RJ, in answer to your question, that perfect person to consider this is the entrepreneur that created something from nothing and is saying, what's next?
Makes perfect sense. Okay, I built this thing, now what? And for many, there's also the psychological implications as well. One of the things I find with business owners is they think as long as they have their attorney and their CPA that, hey, who else could we possibly need to plan our exit? It's like bringing your exit planning team and putting them in a Yugo. It just, no. It better be probably a minivan, because there's also deep psychological things as well that need to be talked through. And it's the spouse who says, look, I've been used to you not being around for 20 years. What do you mean you're going to be home every day now for the next 30 years? There's some changes that go on in life, but it does start with assessing what's the current state, getting that future vision, figuring out what are the enhancements that we can put together in these 90-day sprints. I love that idea. And then where does it go from there? What's that going to bring as far as differential and market value? Well, in our last segment, which is coming up here pretty quick, I'm going to ask each of the three to give us kind of their closing thoughts. So for you out there, you're thinking about, gosh, I want to consider selling or transitioning this business, but it's not for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years. Guess what? Now is when you need to start. It's not the day before tomorrow and you're going to sell. No, you're going to miss out on values or may not even be able to sell the company or transition the company. You need to start now. So in our last segment, we're going to talk about what are those key things that we're going to wrap up with that you need to know today. So you're listening to RJ Kelly. We're on the Wealth Building Hour on WSRadio.com. I've got Melissa Silverman. I've got Shelley Lightfoot. I've got Joe Strazzeri. Best of the best. Come on back. You will not want to miss what they're going to share as we head out. So I hope this is hitting you where you are. Exit, business, succession, transition planning is where it's at. And you're at WSRadio.com.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org.
You were born to do one amazing thing, but most people spend a lifetime trying to identify what it is. If you're in a job you don't like or are unemployed, if you're in a state of transition or just can't shake that nagging feeling that you were meant and made to do something extraordinary, then the Reinvention Workshop is exactly what you need. Led by award-winning self-help author Steve Olsher, the Reinvention Workshop will forever change your life. The Reinvention Workshop takes you step by step through Steve's proven formula that has helped so many people get on the right path and clear about what they were born to do. Take the first step to realizing the life you deserve and desire by visiting thereinventionworkshop.com today. No more delays. No more denial. Reconnect with your true self. Learn to live with purpose and conviction and become who you were born to be. The world is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? Log on to thereinventionworkshop.com today. That's thereinventionworkshop.com.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
In the
the military, things can change in an instant. Your personal life is just the same. Just like you protect our country, you want your family protected. That's why thousands of military members trust Navy Mutual Life Insurance. Navy Mutual is nonprofit, providing current and former Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard families with life insurance, no sales fees, and no military service restrictions. Protecting members on active duty and beyond. Call 1-800-628-6011. 800-628-6011. NavyMutual.org. Insuring those who serve.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Accomplishment Coaching is proud to present the following fine programming. Accomplishment Coaching, where coaches lead and leaders coach. AccomplishmentCoaching.com.
Welcome back to the Wealth Building Hour.
This is RJ Kelly, Wealth Legacy Group here in San Diego, and I am delighted to have the audience and our speakers we've got sharing wisdom. And Wealth Legacy Group is a multidisciplinary group. That's why I first fell in love with Joe Strazzeri, because here's a guy who's just as ADD as I am, who just, why have just one or two companies when 5 or 6 will do? And with Wealth Legacy Group, our goal is to bring a unique and multidisciplinary planning experience to the exceptional business owners and professionals and executives and their families, because it's all tied in. We're very relationship oriented. Again, another reason I really connect with Joe, but it's using a comprehensive team approach. As one of my mentors, Ken Blanchard, likes to say, none of us is as smart as all of us. And the fact is, we look for the best of the best in what they do, and recognizing what those needs are. Business owners today, particularly us baby boomers, many are looking at being able to make an exit or transition. They came out of this 2008, 2009 when they weren't sure if they were even going to make payroll, yet alone still have a company around. Now they've made it through, and they're saying, you know what? We dodged the bullet, and now we want to get to the sidelines. And Joe, as you were talking about, one of those secrets is, again, business owners are tired, many of them. Now, they may be wanting to transition to the next generation. On one of my recent shows, I had a business that's been in town for 128 years now. And so they're on to their 4th generation. Well, there are things that you also can do in your planning to address when somebody's not going to sell the business, but they want to transition the business, right? Joe, I'll put that over to you.
Very much so. Founders Group is a collection of owners and team members that are valuation experts, analytical CFOs, culture and team member experts, attorneys that are both tax and estate. We make a great collaborative firm partner to firms like yours, RJ, financial advisors. Financial advisors are the center point of clients' lives as they evaluate different financial, legal, and tax opportunities and concerns. So it's the thing that you had suggested, where do you go from here? What is that for an owner? As an owner is out there listening, turning to your financial advisor or a financial advisor such as you, RJ, to say, here's my bucket of stuff. What should I be looking at next? You can bring in collaborative teams like ours or others that are appropriate for that owner at that time, be it banking, be it turnaround, be it succession like we're talking about today. Inside of that, then, it's does someone have a process to help me think through this? In our case, RJ, you talked about a current state of evaluation and assessment, a future vision of tactical and strategic planning that can drive to enhancement initiatives and 90-day sprints, and then eventually to where they started from, the decision. Do I keep and grow this? Because now it's fun again. We've gone through these 90-day sprints. I'm energized. We're making more cash flow. Do I keep that business? And do we do this again to create more value and possibly just keep it on to my family and generation? Or do I transition, and that transition doesn't have to be an exit? Could it be in part? Could I have part of my business now owned by my employees or my family or a strategic partner? Or do I want to get out in whole? And if there is a transition, what does that mean for me financially? How do I analyze it for my personal life? What does my family have to say? What does my doctor have to say? Mm-hmm. What do I really want? I haven't met the business owner yet who said, I want nothing to do. So what does my second act look like? And RJ, you're an expert at understanding that. Yes, you bring in experts like us for a transition consideration, or actually maybe even the transition implementation. You also bring in a tax attorney or somebody to reduce a tax, different investment options. And you talk about, in my retirement, when I'm in my spending or drawing down or distribution phase, am I getting money that's 100% income taxable? So $200,000 a year is really $100,000 a year after taxes. Or am I getting something that's capital gain or dividend taxable, which in California means that $200,000 means $120,000 a year? Or did I work with RJ early in my life where $200,000 of distribution has no tax and it's $200,000 in my pocket? So within all that, it's not only a matter of having somebody centralized as their financial planner to look at all these, but to plan for what can I do now, but what is the net effect to my future?
Right. And what's that legacy? What's that look like? Because we know that our wealth is not just financial. Our wealth is so much more. It's relational, it's spiritual, and it's about legacy. And as you and I know, because we work together on this, we can help eliminate those taxes on the sale if we involve philanthropy and do some very special things. But that's another conversation. But Melissa...
And like you said, another conversation is probably, if I want to keep it in the family, shouldn't I go through these same steps?
That's right.
To make the business so incredibly stable, even without me, that it's the goose that continues to lay the golden eggs?
That's right.
And does my family want that?
Well, it makes perfect sense. And again, it's putting folks back in control rather than folks being at the whim of the government in terms of taxes or other aspects. Am I going to find a buyer? Well, yes, you will find a buyer if you prepare for it carefully in advance, thinking it through with these 4 stages that you guys have really brilliantly laid out. Melissa, kind of wrap it up for us as well on your side, your perspective. What are some of these closing nuggets we've got to have?
So as a business owner is thinking about transitioning or selling the business, they need to think about, have they had the business valued? If they haven't had the business valued, they need to get a valuation done. If they are having the valuation done, then they need to really look at what's in the valuation and say, okay, do I have a customer concentration issue? Do I have a management issue? Do I have a strong management team, or does the outside world view me as the business? Do I have a mentoring program in place to maybe elevate my management team to become the next owners of the business? So there are a lot of things that the valuation will tell you that you need to look at as you're preparing for the transition of the business.
Perfect. And now over to Shelley.
So I think that, as we're talking about, it's really about taking the time to design your transition, right?
Gee, I don't have time for that, Shelley.
Right? But you do, because you can still run your business as you design what that transition looks like. It's about taking your business from being a wisdom-driven business to a value-driven business. And I'm sure that Melissa and Joe have talked about that as well. It's very much about making sure that the owners understand all of their choices, going past those typical solutions and digging a little bit deeper and making sure that those options are still are understood. And you have to go through all these steps to really understand better where the owner and the team is coming from, what their vision is, where they want to be, and that it's creating the value that they need it to create. And then we can get to the choices and decide now what to do with the business, like Joe was talking about.
What is so refreshing to me, and again, I just don't think business owners understand how remarkable this whole process is that the folks have built here with the Founders Group, because it is extraordinary. You're not going to find this kind of wisdom on every street corner. This is something you have to seek out, and that's why I'm so thrilled that you all could be with us here today. And I'm going to give a phone number, 858-200-1915. That's 858-200-1915 if you want to call specifically and ask more questions about this, or go to foundersgroup.biz, dersgroup.biz. So go there for some great additional information. This is RJ Kelly, and unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. But thanks for being with us today. Again, remember, it's about legacy. It's not, every one of us is going to leave a legacy. The question is, what legacy have you decided that you're going to leave? And no matter how badly you blew it yesterday, you get a fresh new day today and going forward. This is RJ Kelly. You've been listening to WSRadio.com, the Wealth Building Hour.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org.
Kinja Dixon was crowned the #1 sales executive through hard work, deep thinking, and the revelation of universal talk laws. He now wants to share these lessons with you. Universal talk laws are what you need to know and use in business and at home to have successful and effective conversations. Kinja Dixon shares his wisdom, action plans, and wealth. Each book comes with a chance to win $10,000. Find Universal Talk Laws at KinjaDixon.com.
Attention business owners. Does it feel like your business owns you? See if you qualify for a free 90-minute business coaching session to help you build a business, not a job. During this free 90-minute strategic consultation, one of our senior coaches will help you map out the best way to grow your company and get your life back. To learn more, go to MauiMasterminds.com/scale now. That's MauiMasterminds.com/scale now.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.